Hey everyone, I'm going to walk through Challenge 7, the double page layout for the My Little Scrapbook Store winter crop. So the double page layout you can see up there in the upper right hand corner had quite a few pictures in it, and it kind of had a linear design. So what I decided to do was the Star Wars pictures from 2015 when we went to Hollywood Studios at Disney World, and we happened to be there for Star Wars weekend. Now, this was before Disney had actually purchased the rights to Star Wars and before they turned Star Wars Land or Hollywood Studios into Star Wars Land. So it was kind of a unique experience to have Star Wars themed events at Disney World. So we were really excited to be there for that night. And it's the first time really that I had seen such a interesting display of kind of sci-fi at Disney World. Now I know now it's kind of common and there's a lot more stuff, but in 2015 it was really great. So I have pictures of different people and I have pictures of the shirt that I purchased. And then the fireworks display they had that night was amazing. It was actually to the music of Star Wars, and they had on the screens the big words kind of go up just like they do at the beginning of the movies. So we really enjoyed it. Now, I knew that a lot of the Disney World paper that I had, or the Disney themed paper I had, didn't really go with Star Wars, and I don't have any Star Wars specific paper. So, what did is I went online and I found some JPEGs that I could cut out on my Cricut and just use those as kind of cut files or just kind of stickers to put on the layout. So I cut out the word Star Wars in the classic font, kind of matches the shirt, and I did it in the yellow. Just so happens that the yellow matches that fireworks paper that I have in the background. And then later you're going to see I did another cut file that I put in place of the heart on the layout. So I knew I wanted to follow the theme of that layout pretty closely just because I had a lot of pictures and I also don't have a lot of paper. So I'm going to cut this particular fireworks paper and I'm going to cut it right at 5 on one side and 7 on the other side. And you're about to watch something that haunts me today. I lay this down and I don't lay it down straight. And there's that little part of white. But when I went to try to pull it up, that ATG gun, it just sticks so well that I can't get it up again. So from now until eternity, there will be that little sliver of white to haunt me, and I'm just going to have to get over it. So because I knew I had a 5-inch on one side and a 7-inch on the other side, I cut the yellow because that was the only piece of yellow I had too, also in 5 and 7, and so that I knew those would fit right on the edges to make that other line down the page. And that's how I decided to do my layout. Now you'll notice I'm kind of lining it up there on my glass mat so that I get it straight, and it just barely fits. I mean, we're talking it's 5 and 7 for both of those papers. So I'm going to lay out all my pictures and make sure they fit, and I'm going to look at these pictures I have, these 4x6 pictures of Chewie and of C3PO, and they just seem huge. They're just not quite what I want. So I'm going to look at them for a while, and then finally I'm just going to decide, hey, they're both kind of centered. What if I cut them down to by 3 by 5? So I do that, and I start with Chewie because I know he's in the middle, and it works, and then I do it with C3PO, and it makes such a difference. So one of the things I will say is don't be afraid to cut down your pictures. Don't be afraid to just take your pictures and cut them to a size that makes sense for your layout. So I'm working with all of this, and I know I want something on the edges of that paper because I don't like that stark edge. So I find some polka dot red, my polka dot ribbon, and I use that. And here is the cut file that I am so proud of. It was another just free JPEG file I found online, and it just ends up working absolutely perfectly. So I put down the red ribbon on the edges, and what I do is I don't cut it off yet. I'm going to wait till the very end just so that it can sit there and that the ATG kind of has a chance to adhere. On ribbon, I find sometimes that the ATG doesn't stick as well on the first time. So I got, during the Black Friday sales, I got from Studio Calico one of their rainbow kits, and it had this red mist in it. And I said I'd use that as splatters, and it doesn't splatter as well as like the Nouveau Mist do, and it took me a while. And then by the time I actually did get it to splatter, I realized why people don't use red to splatter because it looks like I murdered somebody on the page. I don't know, but it does go with the color scheme, so I'm just kind of going with it. But I don't think I'll be using that red as splatter anytime soon. So here is my Darth Vader, Yoda, R2D2 C3PO cut file and just the nesting image. And the cool thing is I have the reverse of this still left in that black card, and I'm going to end up being able to use that on another layout. It just looks so cool. And I almost left it alone and didn't put the R2D2 and C3PO in it because I did love how it looked just like that, but I already had them cut out and I thought, it's kind of a shame not to use them. So I'm going to put Yoda's little walking stick in and then realize that I've got to move it over to fit R2D2 in. But this was just a really cool cut file, and it replaces that heart you see on the layout, and I think it all ended up perfect. So I kind of, my lesson learned for this particular layout is don't be afraid to just, go online and see if you can find something. You don't always have to spend money. You don't always have to, have the next new embellishment. Sometimes you can make an embellishment with just some simple cardstock, and that's what I did there, and I really love it. So now I am going to adhere my photos so that they kind of go in the line. And I have two 4x6 horizontals instead of one big vertical and a little vertical, but I feel like I still met the intent of this particular sketch. You don't always have to follow a sketch exactly. It's about the idea of a sketch. I'm adhering the Star Wars with the glue bottle. I lost my mind there for a second. And that glue bottle, man, sometimes it comes out perfectly in its lovely lines, and other times it's a challenge. And this particular night, it was a challenge. I think I'm kind of running out of glue in it, so I need to refill it, but that's another challenge in itself, and I'm not quite ready for it. So this was part of a winter crop for my little scrapbook store. I have another YouTube video that goes through all of the challenges I did, and there were 22 challenges for a weekend crop. And if you don't know my little scrapbook store, Michelle there runs an online store that she sells different products, all kinds of different products, and the variety she has and the prices she has, you won't regret it if you go and check her out. But she ran this crop through her Facebook page, and I really enjoyed doing all the challenges and kind of getting to do some different things. And it did force me, I mean, I'm not a two-page layout person most of the time, but this was one of the challenges, and I like how it turned out. And another one of the challenges was to do a card, and I'm not a card person, and I made a card. So there was one where you need to use an old piece of paper, and so I did that. So sometimes it's fun just to kind of get out of your comfort zone and do something like that, and this crop definitely forced me to do that. So you'll see me kind of pulling out some of the embellishments from that Disney kit that I had. I'm trying to get all of these pictures kind of scrapbooked. They're from 2015, and I've had them sitting in a pile to scrapbook. So I'm just trying to get them done and kind of use the supplies that I have. I thought about waiting until I had just the right Star Wars kit, but I think this ended up turning out just right. So this is basically my page completed. And I know I need to add a little bit of journaling, and the journaling is going to basically say what I've already told you, which is, it was really neat to see the Star Wars and to see the layouts, to see the light show and to see the characters. And now if you go to Hollywood Studios, you'll see all of this, but we were there kind of at the beginning, and it's kind of neat to know that we were one of the first people to see how Disney World was going to turn Hollywood Studios into a Star Wars park. I'm going to get out a stamp set that I've had for a long time to make some journaling lines so that I can journal on my page. If you're uncomfortable journaling with your handwriting, just a block like this that has basically some straight lines is just a godsend. It'll help you kind of feel more comfortable journaling on your page. some Stays on ink, one little quick stamp, and I've got an easy place just to put some journaling. So this is basically the end of my layout, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you spend some time scrapbooking those pictures that you've had sitting in a drawer or sitting in your closet or on your camera roll for 2 or 3 years, and in my case, 4 years, 4.5. It's already 2020, and get them out and put them in pages so that you can enjoy these memories for the years to come. So, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe and like and comment and let me know about what's the oldest pictures that you have to scrapbook right now. So, have a great night and enjoy scrapbooking. Thanks. Bye bye.